Another game, another 1-point loss for the Louisville basketball team under first-year coach Kenny Payne. For a minute or so, I thought I was going to get to talk about the first win of the Kenny Payne era. I thought I'd photograph the celebration of it after Al Ellis drives in and hits a last-second layup, and instead it's wiped off by a video review, and Louisville is still searching for that first win under Kenny Payne. Until that happened, Louisville still trailed by 12 points with just under 8 minutes to play. This had been an incredibly uninspired effort. There just wasn't a whole lot that went right. Louisville was turning the ball over all over the place. App State was scoring off turnovers. They were killing Louisville in the paint. The final points in the paint wound up being 34-18. The final points off turnovers wound up being 20-6 in App State's favor. You're not going to win games when that happens. For Louisville, though, they did start to show some enthusiasm there in the under 8. They started to have some success, get a few defensive stops, and made a game of it and actually got almost all the way back. But if you're Kenny Payne, I don't know if you can take the positives from that. He certainly didn't seem like he was in any mood to take anything much positive away from what he saw on the court tonight.
There has to be some pride, some toughness about being at home and coming out and fighting to get wins. That's what this program is built on. The passion that it is to protect your home court. I guess we're learning that, and I'll take the blame for that. This place is special. This program is special, and I need them to understand how special, and not with their words, with the way they fight, with the way they play, with their togetherness. And this is for everybody to really understand. If you watch us practice, you'll understand what we're dealing with. You can't play games and expect to win and have bad practices. Practices give you the confidence to know that you can go out and beat any and everybody you play against. So we shouldn't have 3 bad practices before a game, 2 bad practices before a game, and hope we turn on the light switch. There was nothing in our practices that would have indicated the second half the way we played. Nothing. That has to change.
Well, we're 3 games in, and there are a few consistent performers for Louisville. Obviously, Al Ellis is kind of the start of everything they do. He had 29 points again tonight, had to do a lot of stuff. Drew a lot of fouls, drew 8 fouls. He missed a couple of front ends of 1-and-1s at the end of the game, but otherwise he was 9 of 11 from the line, and you can't ask somebody to be perfect, even though that's what Louisville needs of him. Louisville's also, I think, getting good play from Brandon Huntley-Hatfield for a guy who's just come in here and is playing his first games here at Louisville. He turned in a double-double again tonight, 12 points, 10 rebounds. They had been getting consistent play from Jalen Withers, but he was in foul trouble all night and winds up this game 0 points, 0 rebounds, and 5 fouls. And as Kenny Payne said, if you told him that was going to be his stat line.
If I knew walking into the game that I would be playing the game without Jalen, I would have said it's a loss.
Well, the problem is this. Sometimes I'll see Huntley-Hatfield post up and not get the ball. Other times I'll see guys come down but not post up. This is a Sidney Curry problem. He just comes down and kind of stands. He doesn't get in a stance. He doesn't put his body on anybody. He doesn't post up and demand the ball. That's why he's not getting the ball. He's not the player that he was at the end of last season, and I'm not sure what it is. To hear Kenny Payne talk about practice not being good this early in the season, that's a concern because things are going to get a whole lot rougher before they get better for this team, and that's a big concern. A momentary bright spot tonight, I thought, was Hersey Miller. He came out and he played okay in this game, and he made some contributions, and he was on the floor for a while and had to be with Withers on the bench. Payne went to a smaller lineup, and it actually seemed to be okay.
I thought Hersey was very good, and just so that I'll give this to everyone, if Hersey Miller is solid for us, that's a big win. That's a big win. If he's under control and just playing solid, he's a good defender. He can take the ball out of L's hands, and we can mix it up some and make L what he naturally is, a scorer.
Well, other than these things, I'm not sure what to tell you, other than it's going to be a long year, and there are a lot of reasons for that. And yes, this is a team that doesn't have a lot of talent. It doesn't have a team that has a lot of belief in itself right now. I don't know if it's a team that has belief in its coaching staff, because Kenny Payne hasn't got a track record of success to show them. They have no real choice but to believe in him. And honestly, the Louisville fan base doesn't have much choice but to believe in him. This is the guy you've hired. This is the guy they've committed to. Is he going to make mistakes? He is absolutely going to make mistakes. And he made mistakes in the last game. At the end of game, he might have done things differently. He'll tell you that. He did it the way he wanted to do them. He's not going to do everything right. That's part of the deal when you hire a guy that's not been a head coach before, and you have to allow for that. I saw Charlie Strong make mistakes that cost Louisville games. He was hard-headed, went for it on 4th and short. I remember in a home game against Cincinnati, they didn't get the yard they needed. They lose the game. And Strong comes in after the game and says, if we're not a program that can get that yard, we don't deserve to win. And tonight, in talking about this loss and how it went, Kenny Payne knew that his team almost came back and stole this thing at the end, but he said that's not how he wanted to win it.
I feel bad for him, but I also know I want to deserve a win. I want us to go out and fight and get a win, not something good happens on the last play. There's a million plays that happen before that should determine a win and a loss.
All right, so now we move on. Louisville goes to Maui, and it's not going to be any prettier in Maui. In fact, it could be considerably uglier. Louisville opens with a very tough game down there against Arkansas, and it's good opponent after good opponent after good opponent. So they're going to have to do some soul searching. We won't be in Maui, but we'll be watching the games. I'll be coming to you with some video after the games. We'll be talking about it and breaking down what we see. But at some point, I want to do a video about the challenge of covering a season like this, because there is going to be a challenge of fans from watching it, challenge for players and coaches, and there's a challenge for us too, and how to cover it, what to talk about, how to approach it. This is a team that's getting better by degrees, but I looked at the website Real-Time RPI tonight, and it has all the RPIs 1 through 364, and before this loss to App State, Louisville was number 360 out of 364. It's hard to believe the program has come to that point, but that's where it is, and I guess you can say it's rock bottom, nowhere to go but up, so we'll continue to follow them. From the KFC Yum Center, I'm Eric Crawford for WDRB Sports.